First thing we do is the first part of the question is right here. It says t varies directly as d squared and inversely as f. So we're going to use a combined problem here. And t goes first. T varies directly, so that means equal to k times d what? D squared, and that's over what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so that's this part. So that's gone. So now we plug and chug. T is equal to k times d squared over f. And now we plug in. D is 15, so t is equal to k times 15 squared over 13. Oh, and k is equal to 6. So k is equal to 6. And before you start reaching for, well, I don't think you're going to be able to because 13 is prime. I don't think you're going to be able to cancel anything there. So go ahead and use your calculators. T is equal to 6 times 225 over 13. And somebody do the math on that. Be 1,800 over 13, which I have no idea what that comes out to be. Somebody do your calculator. What does it come out to be? How much? Okay, 1350. That's what y'all say, right? So that should be your answer. 1350 over 13, or
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. Well, 13.
What, 6 times 225?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1350 over 13.
So you just don't simplify it?
I guess it says there's. Let me see what they. Let me
I
see.
thought it was k times d squared.
I put a decimal.
Remember, I told y'all last class when y'all see that square of d, what did I tell y'all that meant? It meant squared. It means take square. I mean raise it to the square. Do not do the square root. And I had to tell my last class that because we covered this in 102. Let me see what the answer is.
It's 13.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Well,
13.
I divided.
Well, that's fine. That's the same thing. I mean, I would take that. I don't know why they want it as a fraction, but that's fine. I guess because it is a fraction, they don't want it a decimal. That's your answer. 1350 over 13. That's the only question. Let's see. I might have another question in the other emails. Let me look in the other sections and see if there's any 155s in here. Not in there. Let's see if there's any in here. Because sometimes the one they get mixed up. 155. See, you ask my instructors. We do ask 6.621/7. 6.621/7. Alright, I'll blow it up for you, let you write it down. Says graph the solution set of the inequality. And I just touched on this a little bit in the last class, so I don't mind going over it a little bit more.
What's the rules? The open circle?
Open circle is parentheses. If you have just the two inequalities without the lines under it, that's open circle and parentheses. If you have the lines under it, that's closed circle and brackets. I'll write it over here on the board. If you have these two guys, open circle and parentheses. If you have these two guys, it's closed circle, not a dot, but closed circle or brackets. Infinity always gets what?
Parentheses.
Always gets parentheses. Always. And I'll just put parentheses. Always gets parentheses. So solve it, then graph it on a number line, then write it in set builder notation and interval notation. And if you wasn't here last week, I'll show you.
Priority 1 message coming in on secure channel.
Alright. Solve it like you would any other problem. So 6 times 5x minus 2 is less than or equal to 5 times 6x minus 4. What are we going to do first?
Distribute
Good.
38.
Now give me 30x minus 12 is less than or equal to 30x minus what? 20. And that's gonna, what happens to the 30x's?
They cancel out.
You get negative 12 is less than or equal to negative 20. And that's not true.
So you can't grab it.
So you can't graph it. It's not a doable problem. It does not exist. So your answer is no graph. Whenever you get something that is not true, write this down. And I've told you this before. You get something that's not true, it falls on the contradiction. And the contradiction is no solution. So if you get something not true, sorry. If you get something not true, that is what we call a contradiction. And a contradiction has no solution, meaning there's no answer. because the function does not work. Not true means 5 is equal to negative 15. That's not true. 5 is less than or equal to negative 10. That's not true. 72 is equal to or is greater than or equal to 107. Well, that's not true. If you get anything that isn't true, your answer is no solution. And how do you graph no solution? There's nothing on it. There's nothing on the graph. No solution means no answer. And the other two, if you get something true, that's what we call an identity. And that means all real what? Numbers, meaning it has infinite solutions. And the other one besides that is x is equal to 7, x is equal to 10, and that's the solution, and you can graph that. And the answer here is 5 is equal to 5, x is equal to x, 2x is equal to 2x. All those are true statements. And that follows you, and we learned that in 6.2, but it follows you in 6.6 because these are the same problems. It just has a different equality symbol. It has this instead of this. So let's do a narrative. Not sure if I write that down. Okay. All right. Okay, this is that's 21.7. Did I already do that one? Oh, that's twice. We'll do this one. We'll do another. If it's not the same one. Okay, do that one. And it's going to come out with the same answer. It says 2 times parentheses 5x minus 1, close parentheses, is less than or equal to 5 times parentheses 2x minus 1. And you get 10x minus 2 is less than or equal to 10x minus what? And the 10's cancel, and you get negative 2 is less than or equal to negative 5, and that's what? Not true. So your answer is no solution. What if you came out with negative 2 is less than or equal to negative 2? Then you'd have all real numbers, which is this one. Because negative 2 is not less than negative 2, but it's what? Equal to. And that's why you have to pay attention to what your sign says. That's your first thing when you do one of these problems. The first thing you look at is what kind of sign you have. Because that tells you what kind of answer you're going to have. Because you can do this problem 100% correctly, but if you don't look at that sign, you're going to write the answer incorrectly. You've got to look at that inequality to tell what you're going to write it as.
So you said if it was negative 2 equal.
If it's negative 2 less than or equal to negative 2, then it would be a true statement, and then it would be all real numbers. Because negative 2 is equal to negative 2.
And you would graph it all the way across.
Yeah, you would shade it all the way, or just pick that one, yes. Or put all real numbers. Put something that I know what you're talking about, especially on the test. All right, next one. 6.6, 25/9. Number 9. It says graph the solution set of the inequality, blah, 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 blah. -8 less than x plus 4 less than 9. And all I'm going to tell you to do here is get x by itself. So that means you got to get rid of a positive 4 on both sides.
So why does it say it all the way to 12, negative 12?
Stay here just a minute. Well, what happens, how do you get rid of a positive 4?
Subtract it.
You subtract it. So let's subtract it. So negative 8 less than or equal to x plus 4. Oops. Less than 9. Now I want to get rid of a positive 4. So like you said, I'm going to subtract 4 right here. And I'm going to subtract 4 here, and I'm going to subtract 4 here. What does that give me over here? A negative what? 12. Negative 12. Less than x, less than, what's 9 minus 4? So your solution set is as follows. So how do you graph that? Well, let's graph it. 0, negative 12, oops, and 5. And what goes on negative 12? Open circle. And what goes on 5? And what numbers are between 5 and negative 12? That's your answer. Now let's write it in set builder notation. Now set builder is the easy one. All you got to do is take x such that and then write your what? Answer. And put brackets around it, or braces. Negative 12 less than x less than 5, and then put braces around it. That's how you write set builder notation. Just draw x such that, and then a blank, and then put braces around it, and then that you put in your blank, your answer, and that's how you write set builder notation. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't use it. Set builder notation. I use interval notation, and most algebra teachers use interval notation. Interval notation is when you read from left to right on the number line. All right, in this case, we don't have to use infinities because infinities are not shaded in. But what is? Left to right. What's shaded?
Negative 12.
To what?
5.
Okay. Negative 12, comma, 5. What goes on both of them?
Open circle.
Parentheses.
Oh, your parentheses.
And that's your interval notation. So your solution set is between negative 12 and 5. Do we include negative 12 and 5? Yes or no?
Yes.
No, you do not, because that's what the parentheses and open circles mean. I like to tell people to take your eraser and erase what's inside of the open circle. That will remind you that you can't use what? That number. You can't use it. Think of it as a bubble. You can use 4.999, but you can't use 5.0. You can use negative 11.999, but you can't use negative 12. If you use negative 12 in this sentence, you will get an untrue statement. Let's see. What's negative 12 plus 4? Negative 8, Hubert. That's right. Negative 8 is less than negative 8 is less than 9. Is negative 8 less than negative 8?
No.
No. It's only half true. Negative 8 is less than 9, but negative 8 is not less than negative 8. So it's half true. That's like being half pregnant. Alright, you can't do that. It's not half true.
Did you call that the open set?
Yes.
So all the numbers in between?
Yep.
Okay. Now, when do the, like the less than and equal to and all of that, when did those flip? Do we ever do problems like that?
Keep your
where-
variable positive, you don't ever have to worry about that. That's why I teach keeping the variable positive.
Okay.
Therefore, you don't have to worry about doing that.
Okay.
As long as you keep the variable positive, you don't have to worry about it. And that's why I don't teach the other method, because that's two more things that you have to remember.
Mhm.
And I don't think, you
But
want to
we're-
remember extra stuff.
We're not gonna have to worry about that on
No,
our test.
not that I know of, because I always change them. I'll show you what I'm talking about when we get to one.
Okay.
Let's go to nerd. There's only one problem I can think of that you have to divide through by negative, and I'll show you that one when I get to it. Alright, 43/10. And this is it.
See, I thought that was,
Now, there's two things on this problem that you got to remember. Two things. One is highlight this word. Integer. Highlight that. Very important. In fact, I'm going to highlight it red. And when I highlight something red, that means you need to highlight it because it's going to get you on the test. Okay? What is an integer? It's a whole number. So you can't do decimals and fractions. You only can do whole numbers. So that takes this out. Oops, sorry, hold on. Let me change it red. That takes this answer out. And it takes, well, that's still, well, no, that one can't, because that's a doable problem. And it takes these two out. Why? Why does it take those out? Because they're shaded in between the numbers. And what's between 3 and 4?
Decimals.
Decimals and fractions. Integer means whole numbers. So whenever you see the word integer, that means you're going to be dealing with dots or instead of shaded areas. So your only possible two answers are these two. So let's do it. One is less than negative x is less than or equal to negative 3. Now there is a rule in mathematics when you have to use it, and I don't like to use it because I like to keep the variables positive. And that is, if you ever divide or multiply through by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality. That's why I don't like to use it. This is the only problem that you have to use it, because you can't do anything else. The x is already what? By itself. You just have to divide through by -1 or multiply through by -1, whichever one you want to call it. And when we do that, it's going to flip the inequalities. So divide by -1, divide by -1, divide by -1, and your answer is -1 is less than or equal to x, less than x, less than or equal to 3. Now I want everybody to graph that question, graph that answer. And then I want you to write it in set builder notation and interval notation. And I'll show you the fancy way of doing it with. Basically, just put the 3 dots that you use, or the dots, put them somewhere in your brackets or your parentheses up in the top left-hand corner is usually where they put it. So if you're gonna write it in set builder notation, here's your braces, just write 3 dots right there like that, and then write your answer. And if you're an interval notation, write 3 dots right there. And what does that tell the reader? That it's not all numbers, it's what?
Whole numbers.
It's whole numbers or integers. So, here we just, in set builder notation, I told you to write X such that, and then a blank, and then here you write the answer. -1 less than X less than or equal to 3. And then here, which one is it? Is it D or is it A? It's A, because do I include -1? No, that one's not included. So it's -0.99999, but I can't include -0.99999 because that's a what? It's a decimal. So I have to go to the next whole number, which is 0. So that's your answer right there. 0 to 3. And how do you write that? Well, -1 to positive what? 3. What does -1 get? It gets a parenthesis. What does 3 get? A bracket. So when you are dealing with integers, you have to make a distinction in your answer. In set builder notation, you put 3 dots or 3 open dots, it doesn't matter, just tell the reader that you're talking about integers. And here, put 3 dots, and it tells the reader that you're talking about integers.
So one side gets the bracket. and one
Which side gets the parenthesis?
The negative.
The negative what? -1. And what side gets the bracket?
Well, why do they both not get bracket?
That's the bracket right here.
Cause it's equal to or less
Bracket
than or
right
equal
there.
to.
Okay. Question? That's your answer there, A. And that's about the only problem right there that you have to use a negative on. And in my choice, I wouldn't put it on the test. But sometimes it regenerates and you might get that question, but that's the only thing you have to do, is divide through by -1. Okay? Question? All right, let's go there another homework question. Six point 50/11. Alright. Chris can be paid in one of 2 ways. Plan A is a salary of $300 per month plus a commission of 9% of sales. Plan B is a salary of $480 a month plus a commission of 5% of sales. That's my plan, because I can't sell Eskimo either. For what amount of sales is Chris better off selecting Plan A? So where is Plan A greater than Plan B? Now, better off, does that mean equal to, or does that mean more than?
More than.
More than. So you're going to use greater than instead of greater than or equal to. All right, get to work. You should be done by now. You'll meditate on.
I'm watching you eat candy and I can't have
No,
it.
I'm not good no more.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay, I don't need it. I want it, but I don't need it.
She is very indulgent.
I'll go ahead and set it up for you.
Thank you. I was waiting.
Bunch of losers. All right, $300 month plus 0.09x.
300, not 330.
Oh, sorry. I don't know where 330 came from. Maybe
You're
it's.
giving her a raise.
That's what it is.
What?
You ready to go?
No, I am gonna let y'all go early. 330 plus
No, it's
0.09x. What? 300
There you
You
go.
sure?
plus 0.09x is greater than 480 plus 0.05x. There you go. Now you know I'm gonna do something first before I start. What am I gonna do?
Oh, you gonna get Xboxes.
No, I'm gonna clear the what? Decimals, because when you're working with decimals, you have to depend on what? Calculator. So I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna multiply through by 10 or 100. I'm sorry. Multiply through by 100. Well, you need to do it. You're not doing it.
I'm doing it along with you.
Didn't you know we could use calculators on our tests? You're not there.
You have a choice. And don't take this the wrong way. You can choose to be stupid all your life, or you can choose to use your head. You can choose to use your head. If you want to pickle your brain and not use it, then use calculator all the time. No, I'm talking to everybody, not just you. I know you're kidding. I mean, you ever seen people that are at the cash registers? You give them your bill is $9.56, and you give them $10.06, and their head explodes. Those people should not be running the cash register because they don't know how to add or subtract, because they depended on a calculator all their life. So if you want to be stupid all your life, use a calculator all the time. Okay? When do you use a calculator? When do you use a calculator? When you need to. When do you need to? 25.37 times 36. Yeah, you need a calculator. Taking the square root of 25, no, you do not need a calculator.
How did we get on calculator? Can we finish this problem right here? Calculator, you got a calculator.
We ain't gonna do it now. Now that you said that, we ain't gonna do it at all.
What about a calculator that you use at home?
No, you hit a chord. When you say something about a calculator to a math instructor, it hits a nerve, because too many people cannot do math because of that. Okay? I'm directing it to everybody. Lock down McDonald's. Do that. Give them 6 cents and watch the whole daggum crew just melt. All right. So what am I going to do with this 100? I'm going to multiply it through, and that gives you 2 more zeros here, so that makes what?
30,000.
30,000. 300 plus 2 zeros plus 9x is greater than 48,000 plus 5x. Now I'm going to bring this 5x over here, and I'm going to bring this 30,000 over here, and that's going to give me 4x is greater than, now this is real hard math, y'all, 48,000 minus 30,000. Well, the 3 zeros go out, and you're left with 48 is 18,000. 4x is greater than 18,000. Now the rest is simple because you only got 2 numbers to divide into, 18 and 20. So, let me finish. 4 will go into 18 how many times? What does that leave? 2 and a what? 0, which is 20. And then what's left? Zeros, so 0, 0. Should be 4,500. I just did that with no calculator, and you should be able to do it also. Now, if you use the decimals, you can't do it. You have to use a calculator.
Okay, excuse me.
Mhm.
Sir.
No, I've already done it. I've already done it.
I'm
Where?
for real. I wanna know.
You
where
doing one now?
come from? You ain't even write 20 on there. So where did 20 come from? Where 20? He said something about 20.
Four will go into 18,000. 4 will go into 18 4 times. There's the 20. And 4 will go into 20 5 times. What's left after that?
Okay, I got you.
So 4 will go into 0 and 0 0 times.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So, at 4,500, plan A is greater than plan what? B. So he wants to make Chris just select for greater than what? 4,500. Let's try another one of those. I think y'all deserve another one. Let's put in 4,500 so y'all can see that I ain't crazy. I may be crazy, but
Know your math.
I know my math. All right, and
Similar.
yeah, similar. I'll wait and try that. Yep. You want me to start you off again? Okay, you think you got it?
I didn't mean to say that out loud.
She said that.
Oh, she said that, but not, she's not the spokesman, huh?
I'm speaking for herself.
That's all right. 440. There's my 440 instead of 330. 440 plus 0.09x is greater than 680 plus 0.05x. Blows my mind why it doesn't work. So when we do the math and multiply through by 10 or 100, we're going to get 44,000 plus 9x is greater than 68,000 plus 5x. And what are we going to do to get the x's out? Well, we'll go over here and have negative 5x. And over here, negative 5x. greater than 68,000, period. Now we're gonna get the negative 44,000 out of the way. Oops. And negative 44,000 on both sides. And that's gonna leave us with 4x is greater than, well, 68 minus 44 is 12. Somebody help me out. 14, thank you. 1,000? 24. And then how many times will 4 go into 24,000? X is greater than 6,000. That should be your answer. Fantastic.
I wish you could rewrite those answers.
I know. So if he makes, if he has $6,500 worth of commission or whatever, then he needs to go with plan A, because he'll make more money. If he sucks as a salesman, like I would, and he only got 4,000, he should go with plan B. Question on that? Alright. Let's see what else we got. Six point six 5712. 6.657/12. A student must have an average of 5 tests that is greater than or equal to 80, but less than or equal to 90 to receive a final grade of B. Devin's grade on his first 4 tests are blah, 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 blah. What range of grade on his 5th test would give him a B for the course? I'll tell you this much, everything is going to be between 80 and what? 90. So you got to put everything in between. Your formula or your equation is going to be between 80 and 90. And you're going to have to use equal to on the 80, but less than on the 90.
Can you blow that up like a rock?
something's shutting down that board. I don't know what's doing it. I've done all I can do to get
Is
them
your
to do
computer
it.
okay? Cause it could be the storm
They just
outside.
they just put a new computer in.
No, I mean with the connection and stuff,
Yeah,
because
I go check it, I unplugged it and plugged it back in. It won't open, the software won't open, I just tried to open it twice. And it just sits there and spins and it doesn't come off, so I'll have to finish it on the board. Alright. This problem says a student must have an average, blah, 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 between 80 and 90. So 80 and 90. Now, does it say equal to 90 or does it say less than? Less than. So it gets that one, and then this one gets that one. How many tests are there? 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know they're added together, right? So what are the 6 grades? What are they? 77, 65, 77, 65, 92, 78, and X. Now, if I add all these up, that will give me a total points. Just like if I multiply this by 5 and multiply this by 5, that will give me a total points, right? And some teachers do that. Some teachers will not do it by grades, they'll just multiply by points. So that would give you 5 times 80 would be what? 400 points. Alright? Is less than, and we're just going to write all this, 77 plus 65 plus 92 plus 78 plus X is equal to, or less than, what's 90 times 5?
4,000.
Okay. So now all you got to do is just add up these guys right here. Well, I'm going to add these 2 first. Why am I going to add these 2 first? Because the 2 and the 8 will give you a 0, exactly, make it easier. So that would be 170. Somebody check my math, or 180. 170. 170, ooh, there's another 70 right here. 170 plus 70 is 240, plus 7 is 247. And 240 plus 60 is 300, and then the 5 would be what? 7 and 5 would be what? 312? Okay, so we got 400 less than or equal to 312 plus X less than or equal to 450. How do we get X by itself? 312 all the way across. $400 minus 312 is what? 88, Hubert. That's right, class. And 450 minus 312, well, we just said 88 would give you 100, right? So that'd be what? 88 plus 50, which is what? I have no idea. 138, thank you. So he has to make between an 88 and a 138. Well, what's wrong with 138?
It's over 100.
So just make it 100. So just cancel that out and make it 100. So your answer is 88
Yeah, why'd you do that?
to
Because
corrections.
the highest grade is 100.
Oh.
There's your answer. So can he make an 88 and still have a B?
Yes.
Yes. Can he make 100 and still make a B? Yes. So your answer is 88. And you feel good about yourself. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, see what I'm having to deal with here. Okay. Okay, I don't want that, go away. Now that it's spinning, everything's spinning out of control. And when I hit that, it don't even, alright, let me get out of this, I'll just X out of that. X out of that. X out of that. X out of that. And now this is, oh my.
You just stuck a test and call it a diet.
Well, I want to, see if that works. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Whatever that is, stop working, yeah. I'll
I'm
stop.
ready. I'm ready.
Time for this. Ain't the time.
I know that's right.
Time.
It's stuff that has a screen too. Or you know, it's a voice message. I hang up before it goes back. I'm so tired of listening to it. It's horrible.
All this lady.
Yep.
That lady needs to speak when you speak her.
I'm smoking more in.
What?
I said I was smoking more in. Serious.
Well, that's good. I think that's a good thing.
I'm gonna take me a shot in the parking lot. Give me a shot of vodka.
Sorry about this. I need to text the help desk and say, oh, and it just deleted my audio, but it never video, so. Oh, well, sorry. Oh,
I'm a morning person, but I don't want y'all to talk early in the morning. I do it early in the morning.
6.6, did we do 57.12?
Multiplication in English.
I don't know.
Is it that one?
What was the problem with this?
It don't matter, can we go back to 6.5?
No, I ain't got any questions from 6.5.
I got it, the question right here.
Submit it real quick.
Yeah,
You want me
submit
to
it.
send it to you?
Ask my instructor, hurry up.
What's your name?
My name is Beauregard.
Wait, hold on, let me find.
You know, if you hit ask my instructor, it'll automatically send it, you ain't even gotta do that.
I just seen it, I ain't never tried it.
I know, isn't that something? I'm waiting on
I'm
it.
trying to find you a good one.
You hadn't sent it yet?
Here you go, right here.
Class is waiting on you.
Don't make it custom, right?
Still waiting.
I'm still trying to send
There it is.
Okay. Come on, hi.
That was real hard, wasn't it? I don't know why people don't use it.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you these last 5 I got.
6.531/13. Alright, try that one. This one says T varies directly as the square of D and inversely as F.
We just did this.
We did that.
Oh, we just did that?
You guys did this.
Look, I just picked one out, I ain't really fancy. Do you want me to see your number?
Yeah,
I got about, 500.
kinda help. If you wrote that one down, you'd already have it.
Thank you. Just give it an ounce, I don't even know no problem. The number might be different.
You send me another one?
Hold on. It's coming through your speakers right now.
Still waiting.
I just said that, you shouldn't be waiting.
There it
Is our exams like cumulative, is it?
Yep. 6.541/14.
So, I know the last test, I don't remember what I answered. Is our final on mine?
I don't know.
Decrease
The
the-
profit fee from selling lawnmowers is directly proportional to N, the number of lawnmowers sold. Write the variation equation, and if the profit from selling 10 lawnmowers is $500, determine the profit from selling 13 lawnmowers. Let me break it down a little bit for you.
Mm-mm.
What the hell?
There you go. Profit, P, from selling lawnmowers is directly proportional to N. So P is equal to K times N.
I live in Frankfurt.
I grew up on the east side.
I did too. I'm mixed up in Belton, east side, west side.
P is equal to K times N. And it says, there's the equation, we just did part A. Now, part B says, if the profit from selling 10 lawnmowers is $500, what do they want us to do there?
Divide.
We want to solve by the to solve for what?
Okay.
K. So K is equal to 50. Now what did I tell you to do with K once you found it?
Plug it up.
Plug it back in, and that gives you part C. So P is equal to 50 times N, and then here's part C. Determine the profit from selling 13 lawnmowers. So P is equal to 50 times 13, and you can do that in your head, because 50 times 10 is what? 500, and then what's 3 times 50? 150, so what's 500 plus 150? 650. Yeah, baby. So the answer should be 650. First answer is right there. That's B. And the second answer is 650. Okay?
I got one more.
All right, did you send it to me?
Yeah.
All righty, let's pull it up.
6.5 was a lot more confusing last semester.
What was it?
Yes, it was.
There it is, 6.5, 4615. Assume that the stopping distance of a van varies directly with the speed squared. I do not like the way they write square of.
Me either.
So put speed squared. So stopping distance, I'll say S or D, whichever one you want to use, varies directly with the square of the speed. So that would be D is equal to K times S what?
Squared.
Squared.
Ooh, sorry.
So D is equal to K times S squared. I bet that Tucker's up there on that hill, I mean behind Tucker's, I bet you get a lot of people come in there. No, not drunk.
Just for the night, baby.
Yeah, just for the night.
That's everywhere.
We had a lot of that.
Yeah, I want a room near the back door.
We had a lot of that at the Hilton last year too, every year.
What are y'all laughing about?
Don't laugh.
Huh?
Don't even laugh.
Miss Harper, what they laughing about?
What?
What they laughing about?
That's all.
All right.
Go to the hotel.
So, a van traveling 40 miles per hour can stop in 40 feet. So 40 feet is equal to K times 40 miles per hour squared. 40 is equal to K times what? 1600. Divide both sides by 1600. Don't reach for a calculator yet because you don't have to. Zeros cancel. And 4 will go into 160 40 times, so that's 1 over 40. So there's your K. It goes back in. So D is equal to 1 over 40 times S squared. Now, what if the van is traveling 44 miles an hour? Well, plug it in. How long will it take it to stop? 1 over 40 multiplied by 44 squared. Get your calculator out. And take 44 squared, divide it by 40. Tell me what you get. I'm supposed to tell you.
48.4?
Huh?
48.4.
Whatever y'all say. Is that fixed all right? I'll fix it in a minute. How much?
48.4.
48.4 feet. That's not right.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yep.
That's what the computer said.
Okay, I'm sorry. 40 feet. Okay, I see. The 40, 48. Let's get more realistic. Let's do another problem and say,
I'll send you one, hold on.
wait a minute, I wanna do, what if you're traveling 55? Or let's say what some people travel in a school zone, they travel 60.
I was gonna say 60.
All right, let's see how long it'll take you to stop if a child runs out in front of you.
No, don't do that. That's
Yeah, we are.
So you're gonna-
60 times, that'd be 3,600.
It's gonna take me breaking, that's what we're gonna.
3,600 over 40. Somebody give that.
90?
It'll take you 90 feet
Wow.
to stop. Remember that when you're going 60 through a school zone.
Yeah, please don't create more work for me to do.
No, but you ain't even want to do that.
Okay?
I will be.
All right. So that'd be 48.4.
You didn't click it.
Okay, I thought I did. And that's that. All right, you send me one more
Oh,
so I can finish your homework for you?
Yeah, I already
Nice.
I haven't got it yet.
I'm gonna see y'all of them now, hold on.
You send me all of them, I ain't gonna do them. I'll do one more for you.
Okay, hold on, let me find one that look hard.
Just make sure you don't send the one that we've already went over because you wasn't paying attention.
I know, I don't know which one we done went over.
Exactly. Okay. Now let's look at the test. Need to go ahead and load that for you. Yep, it covers 6.1 through 6.6.
All right, let's go on.
What did you say it would cover mostly though?
6.2.
6.2 and 6.6. I thought I had it already open, but I had to get out of this thing.
Start
So
Saturday night, I do.
what?
So the homework due tonight,
I don't know when it's due. You have to look and see.
and shit, you know what I'm saying?
You on camera?
Oh, sorry.
TC dot,
Don't say it.
my labs plus.
I know that type of song's gonna be stuck in my head all day.
What did you just put?
It's due
Alright.
July 27th.
July 23rd. There you go. And we can look at it, just give you a sneak peek at it.
Wait, what's that?
We're gonna have 2 weeks to do this test.
Yes, they thank you.
All of the tests and the homework is due at the end of the month, because that way you don't have an excuse that you didn't have time to do it.
I thought we were out of school on the
There's
17th.
one, that's, Evaluate, what does evaluate mean? Huh? Plug and chug, Hubert. Yep, that's right. How you solve that one?
You gotta, add
Negative 9, yep. This one is direct proportion. And that's gonna be, let's see, 13 over 40 equals 1 over x. That's 13 over 40 equals 1 over x. That's your, wait a minute, hold on, yeah. Yeah, that's your math for your nursing right there, for your medical field.
I can't even read it.
Well, I guess you'll get it wrong. Next, variation. T varies directly as the square of D, meaning T is equal to K times D what?
square.
Over F. Plug and chug, solve. Multiply both sides by what?
Common denominator.
Which is 24. We clear the fraction, solve. Oops, no, I'm not ready. Ernie Roth deposits $7,300 at 6% interest for 1 year. How much interest will he earn?
Oh, that's that long.
That's simple interest. Yep. 700 be 7,300. 12 month or 1 year. Put it in that formula. Crank it out. On that one, yes. Use your calculator. That's what it's for. Minus 35 divided by 5. What do you do here first?
You divide by both sides by 5 over 7.
Okay, you can multiply by 5 over 7, or you can multiply by 5 and then divide by 7, however you want to do it. There's 2 or 3 different ways to do it. I would multiply both sides by 5/7. That's what I would do. And then, of course, solve for J.
Awesome.
Is that it?
Sign questions?
How many questions has it got?
Nine.
That's unusual.
Well,
Oh well. I made it short for you.
Got one right.
Somebody will complain, but
I wish
I hate
they
it.
would. Send to me when they do.
Alright. Alright, y'all work on that, and we'll work on 6.7 when y'all come back. Wednesday.
Monday.
No, I believe it's Wednesday. See y'all. I know who's here. And I'll let y'all go early, so don't forget it. When I keep y'all till late, don't get mad.
You can write it.
See ya. Be good. Nope. What you need? You need to go over something?
I'm lost.
All right, which problems you need help with?